I am going to hit play. I think we're recording. Yeah.
Are we?
All right. All right.
Oh, yeah, it says it's being recorded there.
Yay. So we can hear James nice and clear. We figured out his microphone. Right. So here we go. April 2017. I just came back from an open mic for amateurs comedy show, and my daughter's 21-year-old best friend went up. This is her third time to do a comedy sketch. It was amazing to see.
It was good?
A young kid.
Was it good? Was it good?
It was really good. I was like blown away.
That's
I was like, because when she told me she was going to this months ago, I said, "Oh my God, I could see you doing that." So she's really edgy, this girl. She's that friend of my daughter. She's like her best friend, and she's the one my wife and I worry about because she's the one that's going to get her in trouble. All right, let's talk photography. So, yeah, what have you guys been up to? Who wants to go first? You got anything to say? We're going to talk about...
I'll solve it right now. I really don't have that much. I've had time, so you guys can take up the time for this.
So you haven't been doing a lot of shooting or anything lately?
Everything got postponed.
Oh.
I did a small trade show yesterday. That was it, but I've been getting caught up on stuff. So
James, tell us about the trade show. I want to show that picture of you.
Which one?
At the trade show. Why don't you talk about that for a bit?
What trade show did you do?
Yeah, Rob, can you take that off, please? Thanks.
What?
I don't need to put my Facebook on for everybody.
But where's your... there it is. Your trade show right there.
Oh, was it for...
It was just a small trade show. I just had a booth set up.
I mean, look at that booth. Look at that booth.
Cool,
yeah, it's gone. Like, that's the last time I'm using it.
Why? What happened?
Really, eh?
It's not the greatest one. It wasn't the best quality. It's served its purpose. It's done its time. So I'm gonna look into some other stuff.
So it was just for commercial purposes?
What's that?
It was just
it was a health and safety. It was a health and safety thing. They used a couple of my images, so they asked if I wanted to put something up. So I just put this up.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So they let you put a booth on for a one-day event.
Yep.
And there was a picture of you at the front of the stage, and you showed the banners. They had banners where they used your images as well.
Yeah, those are the images that
So I don't remember where I saw that, but
I think that was on my Instagram.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it was on Instagram. Okay, but
so did that give you any exposure to people in the industry that you haven't done work for, or just more for the same people?
No, pretty well the same people.
Same people, right?
Same people for me.
And that's valuable, though.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because you're connecting with your people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Constantly keeping in contact with them.
How many people were there?
I don't know, actually. I never actually got a count. It was very well done. I'm going to do it again. Actually, next year I told them they didn't have anybody taking pictures.
Right.
You know, they didn't have anybody taking... They videotaped the whole... They live streamed all the speakers and that, but they didn't actually have anybody taking pictures. And I said, you know, I was talking to the organizer. You know who else was there? Was Lisa Bonin was there, Rob.
She probably was the event organizer.
Yeah. So I told her, I said, next time, I said, next year, I said, I'll do it again, and I will bring my camera and I will take pictures for you. I said, because you should, like, everybody's mingling in between, right? And those are the stuff they want to use to market, you know?
Yeah, sure.
I said, because I don't stay at the booth all the time. I usually walk around, talk to the other people I know and stuff like that. So that time I figured I could take a bunch of snapshots for them.
Yeah.
And that's really good.
Lisa is one of the big event planners in our town, and I know her really well. I emailed her last year and asked her, I said, if you ever have a fundraiser, let me know. I'll help out. I'll donate my time. I planted seeds.
I realized after I took this picture that my print under my TV was upside down. So then as I was looking at the picture on Facebook, I ended up, oh crap, I went and flipped it back upside down.
You talking about this one here?
Yeah, that one there is upside down.
Oh. I would have never noticed.
Yeah, it's upside down.
I would have never noticed.
I was looking at it, I was like, ah, crap, I got to flip it back over.
Okay, so what's wrong with this display? It looks awesome.
Yeah, it's just time to update. There's things like some of the people that are in the pictures, you know, the stuff that they're wearing now is just not up to date.
So the image is outdated.
Yeah, and I just don't think I'm going to use this type of booth. I saw some other stuff that I really liked, and if I do anything. The only reason I don't do trade shows anymore. Yeah. And the only reason I did this.
Well, you do these.
Well, I did this one just because it was free, like it was a networking thing. But I don't do any trade shows. Like that's why I haven't used that booth in I don't know how many years now.
So you're going to sell it to me real cheap?
Yeah, if you want it, yeah. So yeah, no, it was fun, and then I got to see a lot of people that I already know. So it was it was good.
That
was it. I haven't done too much yet. I got a busy. The next few weeks are going to be busy.
See, to me, this is a really, really good example of what I consider to be some of the best of marketing. Specifically, this is affiliation marketing with an event. You're getting in front of the people. You're networking, so you're marketing and networking. And networking is so important.
Yeah.
I went to a meeting tonight. I had a super busy day, and then between 5 and 7, I ran from the theater because I was doing the theater picks. I ran from there to another meeting at the art gallery where they do a lot of films up in Sudbury. I don't know if you knew that, Judy.
No.
They do a lot.
We have a big thriving,
Oh, really? Yeah, you got a thriving film business?
We've had a lot of big stars up here.
Yeah.
And what happened was they built this infrastructure where they supply products for the film industry, and they got grants and that. So Hollywood will come up here, and somebody explained it. The guy who helped fund this years ago and do the financing, he said, think of it in these terms. You can do a movie for $30 million down in Hollywood, or they can come up here and do it for $6 million.
Yeah.
Have the same facilities, and the facilities are what's important.
Yeah. So
they've got a very thriving industry up here, and it's amazing. Like Sudbury, of all the skanky little towns in the world. And anyways, the chamber, the city, and some other group, they did this thing where they had a panel discussion on how your business can tap into the film industry. So I went to that, and the one guy who's very, very successful, he does like boom lighting and brings booms to the industry.
Yeah.
He kept going on and on and on about networking. He said that's how he grew his business. He said, if you see a movie, truck, and lights, and you got something to offer, he said, just go knock on the door. It's that simple. Just go knock on the door, and that's how you do it.
When I first started, when I first got into it and was doing trade shows and stuff like that, it was hard to network because you don't know anybody.
Yeah. But
now over the years, and with all the clients I have, seeing them on a regular basis now. So now most of these events, I feel at home now, and I know people there. So it's, you
pretty much know everybody.
And that's the thing. So yeah, it just takes. The thing is, my point was, though, it takes a long time to build that up.
Yeah, sure.
I mean?
Sure.
It's all about the schmooze, man. It's all about the schmooze.
And it all comes down to the product.
Yeah. Well, that too. If you're schmoozing with a shitty product, that's like marketing with a shitty product. Right?
Exactly. Some people do that, though.
What is it they say, James?
What did you say? Just make it. What did you say back in the day? Just they realize that you're crappier faster or something like that.
Yeah. If you've got a crappy product and you got good marketing, you're just speeding up the process with which they find out you're a crappy photographer.
Yeah, I like that.
So the two got to go in. But it's a given that you're going to have a good product. That was an assumption I made.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying that does have a big part of networking. You have to have a good product.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying that my product's not good or it's good. I was just saying in general, anybody that's marketing or networking, you have to have a good product. Otherwise, you're just, like you said, Rob, you're just blowing smoke up your butt.
Right.
I think networking is totally underrated and undervalued and underused as a strategy for photographers.
Well, I wonder now.
Nowadays, especially nowadays.
With the younger generation, they don't network because this is how they network,
they have
right?
to.
Well, and they don't know how to get together and actually go to functions and network with other people unless it's through Facebook and stuff.
Bring your cell phone.
It's true. Yeah. When you're talking networking, the thing that I think is important for other photographers to understand is you're not talking about networking with other photographers. You're talking about networking with people for your business.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about.
That's a totally different thing.
Exactly. Yep.
Right? Yep. And, you know, and I agree. I don't think enough people do it. I do see quite a fair bit of it happening with boudoir photographers.
Yeah.
They're networking with people that have like-minded businesses like lingerie, stores, makeup artists, salons, things like that. You know, fitness-oriented things, because
I want to clarify something. I think you're talking about affiliation. What I'm saying.
Well, no, but there's networking there too.
I'm talking specifically going out to an event in your town or community.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You know, they're doing the same thing, and they're doing it with businesses that are like-minded.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I totally get you. Yeah, I mean, I actually just saw one today, boudoir photographer in New York, and she's involved in a fashion show.
There you go.
And that's part of her business in her city.
Yeah.
It's like a huge thing to do, right? Yeah.
I believe Maggie, you know, Maggie's usually successful in her area, and she's like a super high-end studio, and she networks to death.
Sure.
To death.
Of course. I think a good step, and, you know, perhaps a generic step, but is like networking in your business association, like kind of starting there in your city.
You're talking about like Rotary and Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah, like that kind of thing can be really good, especially if you're in a smaller city.
But what James did was that it was but in a niche industry. Yes,
yeah. Like you found it sort of where to network. Like you found the key areas to do that in. But sometimes if you don't know, you can do it in your Chamber of Commerce, and then that can kind of direct you. To where you need to go, right?
Get the ball rolling.
Yeah, totally.
So James, you don't know how many people were there, and how many? Like, was it a one-day event?
No, it was a three-day event.
Oh, jeez.
So today was the last day, but the trade show was just one day.
Okay, so they had a trade show. It was like a 3-day convention. One day was a trade show. Yeah. So how many other vendors were there exhibiting? He's counting.
38.
Oh, this was big.
Yeah, it was bigger than I expected, to be honest.
Okay.
So, you know, Rob, it was at the Holiday Inn, right? The old.
I saw that. With the solarium.
And so they had the solarium all filled with booths. And then when they usually have dinner right across from the solarium, not the by the pool, they had that with booths. Then they had a tent outside that actually had booths in it. And then they used all the rest was they had opened up the one big room into one, all the 3 rooms into one big room, and that's where they had the speakers. Stuff like that.
Cool. So you got to
honest, I didn't think it was going to be like that big. I wasn't surprised. I was pleasantly surprised. It was very well done. I actually liked the setup they had there. Again, I also knew a lot of people, so it was, you know, it was fun because I just got to talk to people.
Because you knew them all. Yeah. Sure.
Did you make any new friends, James, while you were at school?
Yes, I did make. I made 2 new good friends.
People you can hit up later to...
Oh, no, already done. Business was done. So
that's the way to do it, right?
Yeah.
Any other photographers there? No, you're the only one.
No, I wasn't.
I don't know, your booth looks pretty...
I was the only one that got asked.
Your booth looks pretty dynamic, and that whole impact, it just speaks to me. And you were dressed up. You wore a suit and a tie. You look good, you know.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm starting to dress like you. You know,
that's good.
You know, I kind of noticed that a little bit there.
When I go out, and I like the look. Like when I go out, I've got black jeans, really comfortable black jeans, nice shoes, like a belt, nice shirt, tie.
Yeah,
Beth, you just feel good. I go to our MMA fights. So when we have our MMA fights, and you know, whether it's jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai or MMA, I go out. I dress up.
It's important.
Because everybody says the same thing. They're like, "Holy crap, you dressed up." I was like, "Hey, you know, why not?" So,
I don't know where.
Give me some new shirts.
I started doing that a couple of years ago, and for some reason, like I'm rebranding my studio, right?
Well, that's what it is. It's a look. It is. It's a look.
Yeah.
It's a good look. It's a good look.
I don't want to take any chances on anything that I'm doing to represent my studio, so I'm just sort of taking care of all that.
You're not going to show up to a wedding in shorts and t-shirt and flip-flops?
I've seen a guy do that once.
Yeah,
I've seen that. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I can't wait to get out of here and go to camp.
I remember I watched one wedding video. I don't remember where I watched it. And it was like a show, and it was on a wedding photographer from Toronto. And he's at the park, and he's flipping the girl's dress like to fan it out, and he's got a cigarette hanging from his mouth, big ash sitting right over top of it. I'm just like,
what a loser!
I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing, buddy? That was killing me.
Judy's going to tell us about her website and other stuff to do at her move, but I just want to ask you a really quick final question, James.
Yeah.
You have two websites. This one's your original one, and it seems to me it's sort of redundant now. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm probably going to let it go.
Yeah, or you could redirect it to this one.
Yeah, I don't use it, so.
Yeah, I don't know why you made a comment a few weeks ago. I can't remember why, but it would let me.
The other one looks more like it fits your brand.
It fits my personality too.
Right, right.
This website
and the product that you're putting out there, right?
Yeah.
Like that fits it really well.
I really enjoy this website, actually. I really do.
I would put more pictures, like these pictures on top, right here somewhere, less of you.
Yeah, I had actually, and I had that. I had pictures and text and all that. I'll probably do that.
Because you got 4 of you, and like, well, what the fuck? I mean, put
well, it's kind of it shows different industries.
Oh, see, I never got that.
Yeah.
That never. If you put a title on it, it might help.
Well,
title each picture. I don't know. I do this.
People,
I do this.
People kind of know.
Yeah.
That's cool. So you're gonna let the other one go?
Yeah, I probably will. I mean, I don't do anything with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even through my mining stuff, still gets me all my other commercial gigs. You know, my food and restaurants, stuff like that. Like it's. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Very cool.
It's manly. It's very manly. And look at this. Look at this. It's all girly. Manly.
That's girly. The other one's manly.
Look at this.
Yeah, see, and I gotta change all these two. These are
look at that. Now. There we got horsepower. Oh, it's all girly. All right, Judy. I love your website.
And it's funny too because when I get underground, I get to a jumbo, which is my favorite machine to shoot. I get up close to it, nice and open. Like, hello, baby. Your metal's so smooth and soft.
So, Judy, on previous podcasts a few months ago, we talked about your website, and I thought for some reason it was a recent update, but you were mentioning it's 3 years old, and you're going to make
almost 3 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to make some changes to it.
Yeah.
So, what's going on with that? What are your changes that you're going with?
It's just like right now, the way my website works, like especially with all those little squares that are on the front and everything.
These are all linked to blog posts, right?
They're all linked to, like the most recent blog post is the first one, and then it goes to the next blog post, And I don't want to do that anymore. I want to do more featured blog posts, only putting up just, say, the best of the best, because I pretty much Instagram everything else. Right? So I don't really have to put blog posts for everything that I do. So what I want to do is I want to make it look more like fine art featured type site. So my web designer and but we still want to keep like same color feel, give it a very classy brand look. So this is sort of the design that we're going to go for as a new pro photo is this.
Deluxe?
And it's more like a very luxury brand looking, type site, and it has. So if you click on View Demo, click on that, Rob.
I got to move my box over here.
Yeah, go down the bottom, click on View Demo. So then a demo comes up, and you can see how it's got like if you scroll down, it's got a slightly different feel. But we're going to keep all my little icons. And I can feature posts. So like if I put something in, I'll feature it. It'll just have a completely different feel to it.
Where's that going to show up?
That's always on your first page.
That's going to be here?
No, down at the bottom. You scroll
this here's
down.
a featured post?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
so down there it's like featured.
Okay.
Her and I are gonna work with it a little bit because I'd like to maybe feature 3.
Okay.
Right.
I was just going to ask you that.
Right? Yeah. And then if you go into the portfolio, so click on portfolio, because you can pretty much do anything that you want with this.
Right.
So if you scroll down, then you're going to see you've got your portfolios. And then if you scroll down even further, you can have the feature again.
Right.
No, this
There
is the
again?
bottom.
The feature could probably go on every page.
Yeah. So there's a
And
lot of different things that you can do with it like that. And so that's how basically her and I are going to put it together.
I
And
like this slideshow feature here.
yes, and I'm going to go, like right now I've got like 4 or 5 different galleries. I'm only going to have 2. I'm going to have one
Okay.
gallery with the images and one before and after gallery.
So
And
in your
that's it.
portfolio, you're going to have 2.
Yeah, I'll have 2 galleries basically, and then have features again, a feature again underneath. So
Pretty
it'll just
simple.
kind of be
Yeah.
a bit nicer flow, but they're really like I'm not even sure I'm even going to have a blog tab. It'll
This here?
depend on if I want people to even go and reference the stuff. Like I may
Right.
just want to be, I don't know. But I kind of like even the way that's set up. When you click
Yeah,
on the
it's
blog
clean.
tab, I like
Very
the way that
clean.
looks too. Very clean.
Yeah, it's
Very,
So-
very nice.
So
I think
on
so.
every, yeah. So minimalist, and on each of these categories, if you go with 2, matters not, you're going to have some featured posts on the bottom,
Yes. Yeah.
linked to pretty much
So
the
I
same.
think it'll be really good. And the thing is, when you feature, you can change that feature,
Yeah.
right? Like you can pick any post you like. So I can randomly change those all the time.
So you got total flexibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have
So-
that here. You're limited here to whatever's in the blog goes here.
Yeah, whatever's in the blog goes there. So it's just kind of the way the feed goes in. So it's structured completely different in the new site. So she's going to put it all, I'm going to let her design it, put it all together. Again,
Nice.
she only charges like $600 US, and she completely customizes the whole site for me.
Nice.
And then we just take the
Nice.
content that I have, throw it in. So I've got all my content, and then I can just manage it from there.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So I think that'll
Well-
be really good. Really good. So what I'm going to work on now is I'm actually going to redo my galleries in this website so she can just take them and move them over. So everything will be as it exists right now. It's
Yeah.
just going to funnel into something different. When you
She's
get
going to do it for you, all
Yeah.
A to Z.
Yeah.
So she'll have it all ready to go.
Yeah. But she doesn't have to reinvent the wheel because all the data's there, which is
So it'll
great.
be easier for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep, like I said, we're going to keep my color theme. And if you scroll down on this page here, I've got all custom little icons at the bottom.
Right.
So she's already designed those to kind of fit my brand. So
That's
we're going to
her.
keep all of that. Yeah. So there's like certain things we're going to keep it consistent, right? It's just going to flip to a new website, basically.
Cool.
So when's that going to happen?
Her and I are going to start working on that in May.
So
And
you
I think it usually takes her about 2 months to put it all together.
this is her here, right?
Uh,
Norfolk.co.
no. My website designer?
Yeah, it was linked on the
No,
bottom.
no. My website designer is
Oh, okay.
a completely different designer. Yeah.
Anyways, that's linked here. That must have been
Yeah. She was the one who helped me pick in both cases, with this site and with the next one, she actually helped me pick the design
nice.
as well. Because she knows me well enough, right?
Sure you don't want to go with one of them there industrial sites like James's?
Yeah.
Now that won't work for boudoir.
You want to
Not
keep it
quite.
consistent?
Yeah. Keep it consistent. Anyways, that's the plan. So we'll see how that goes.
Cool.
Burning metal and exhaust, big rocks.
God, that gets
So
me.
we were talking about this because I was telling Judy I was creeping her site because I want to get my site updated. This is getting old, and I really like the way when people go to her site, you just bam.
And everything's there. Yeah.
Here they got to go and they got to sort of click, and see how it's awkward.
Mm-hmm.
Slider thing, and I could set it so it'll scroll. That's just a pain in the ass. So, anyways.
You want something nice and clean and easy for people to follow.
My daughter's nagging me because she's in her second year of graphic design. She's like, "Dad, you got to do something with your website." So it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to have that there, sort of chomping at my heels.
In your ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
So did either of you have a chance to watch any of this video from the Northrups, Tony and Chelsea Northrup?
I did.
Our photographers going extinct. I don't know if you had a chance, James.
Nope, I did not.
No, I did.
I watched where you see the red line.
I think I watched most of it, and then I got kind of sick of listening to them.
Okay. Well, let's talk about it real quick. Just spend a bit of time, and if we have time, I got a whole shitload of questions too that have come through. What was your summary in a nutshell, Judy? And I'll tell you what I got from it. It's probably going to be the same.
Yeah.
And we'll maybe talk a little bit on it. And James, if you have some feedback or opinions, which I'm sure you will, because it ties into a lot of stuff that anybody who's a professional photographer is tied into and is aware of. And
well, I mean, and essentially what they're saying, James, is that professional photographers are going extinct.
Yep.
Extinct. That's what they're saying. Unfortunately, I felt that a lot of what they were basing their information on, like they were going the wrong direction, because they're looking at these charts in Google only,
right,
that are saying that less people are searching. Well, of course they are, because now there's Facebook and Instagram and all that. So, I thought that because they're basing their percentages on the drop-off on Google Trends. Well, you can't anymore.
Sorry.
You just can't do it, right?
Google's old.
Yeah, Google. Well, Google's only Google's a portion of it.
Yeah.
So if you want to really say, then you have to get information from all these other sources, and they didn't include those. They did mention it, but they didn't include those.
Okay, so Judy, just to qualify what you're saying, this applies because you also use that strategy, which I'd like you to talk about too. I don't, but I know you do.
Yes.
I'm sure you were going there anyway, so I'll just shut up.
Yeah, what we do is a visual business. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, things like, they're all visuals. So you can't base what we do and how we market just on Google, and whether or not people are finding you on Google, because now they have all these other sources to find you.
Right.
Okay? So I felt that was not a valid thing to follow with what they were saying. However, they were talking, and Rob and I kind of threw this out there before you got on, James, about how the boutique studio seems to be doing really well and the bigger studios are kind of falling by the wayside, which I do believe that has happened a lot. I think there's a couple of reasons for that, and one of them being that the boutique studio is a more personalized service.
Right.
Which is what I think people want.
Yep, I agree.
Right? They want to know who their photographer is, they want to know what they're buying, and they want to know what they're getting.
Yep.
In the end. Right, Rob?
Well, yeah, but I think it's even a little bit deeper than that, because there's got to be a demand. There's got to be a market there in the first place.
Yeah.
So people still want a boutique experience for what it gives people. And I've noticed that too, and I feel that applies in my business. And Judy and others like Maggie and Guy and Julie and Warren and a whole bunch of other photographers I know who are doing well are fit in the boutique category.
Yes.
But they also mentioned that photojournalists, like newspaper photographers, gone. Scenic photographers, gone. All those guys those industries are pretty much dying off too. We all know photography is changing, but nobody talked about mining and industrial, James. That's how far off the radar you are.
Yeah. I mean, they did get a little bit into commercial.
The other thing you also got to realize with my niche here is that you have to have the demand for it. We're like, You know, like there's not a lot of places like us. We're a mining town. Like that's why the business is there.
Yeah, like they did. Well, they did talk about one specialty they talked about was real estate photography.
See, in real estate photography, in my opinion, is a dime a dozen now.
Well, it is, but it is, but it isn't. And I'm going to bring this up because I actually paid attention to this. So in Facebook, you know, you'll get a lot of these real estate companies coming up, and they've got all this house for sale and that house for sale. And so randomly, I was clicking in there, and you can tell the real estate agent went in and photographed the house.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it looks like friggin' crap. But there is this one real estate agent called Sotheby's.
Yeah.
And they're selling real estate, high-end real estate, Toronto, Oakville. We're talking like multi-million-dollar houses.
Yeah.
You go in there and you look at that photography.
Yeah. Well, that's because they're hiring. That's because they're hiring professional photographers.
Exactly.
They want.
And it was like you go in and I'm like, oh, look at these houses, right?
Yeah.
Because somebody has actually taken the time to set up and take these photographs. Right. And they were talking about that in the video, about the difference between experiencing professional real estate photography and the real estate agent going out and taking the friggin' pictures. I mean, it's like night and day. Okay, right. This is actually Sotheby's, that's Toronto, and it was Toronto, Oakville. The houses were just friggin' incredible. Okay,
well, they're all over.
Yeah, and what you see in those homes is professional photography.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and yeah, so I thought, but it's a very, very select group of people.
Well, the thing is, you also have to have the market. You also have to have the market for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of people doing photography around here for real estate, but I mean, people aren't going to go out and pay big fees for selling a $250,000 house.
No.
Not in our city.
No, you know, they'll just take them themselves.
Okay, in Toronto, there isn't anything like $250,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Not nowadays. What's the minimum price? $1 million?
Not even in Hamilton, there isn't even.
I just listened to CBC. It was like 1.2 is the average price now.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's got to be a bubble.
Yeah.
One guy was saying he was looking at one. It was a semi-detached, and it was $799.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy. Crazy is right. It's like nuts, right?
Yeah.
And they're all selling for over asking. But anyways.
You're going down the boutique road. Obviously, you've always been that way. And any news on the your new direction or add-on direction with weddings? And how's the new place doing?
I mean, you know, like the whole weddings thing is more just dabbling in it,
right.
Not going like full tilt like I did 20, 30 weddings a year before. It's not that anymore.
Okay. Well, it's going to take a while to get into that, I would imagine, anyway.
It will, but I don't ever want to get to that level again.
No, but you're dabbling back into. Okay, so there's no news on that front yet because you talked about that a few months ago.
No, I've got like 5 or 6 events this year.
Events or weddings?
Yeah, a couple of them are mine. A couple of them I'm second shooting, and then I'm doing another one I'm shooting for another photographer, shooting a wedding for another photographer.
Comparatively to, say, last year or the year before, that's 5 more than what you've shot.
Yeah, last year I had 2.
Okay, so you're increasing. The year before that?
Yeah, year before that I didn't do any.
Okay, so okay. Well, yeah, I see some progress there, slowly.
Yeah, so, you know, I've got like 6 events this year, yeah. I mean, I honestly, you know, because I was sitting and thinking about it, I honestly think I would like to just shoot them for somebody else.
It's easier that way.
And not necessarily market them myself, because then I don't have to put them on my website or anything like that, and I can keep my website very boudoir oriented. So I'm considering that. I'm considering just doing that, shooting or second shooting, like either one, right?
I think a photographer can make like a full-time job just second shooting weddings, and not necessarily one photographer, but just being a second shooter.
Sure, and no pressure.
And no pressure, you know. Here's my fee for the day. You need a second shooter. I will relinquish all images to you. You know, I get to
Yep.
I get to take 20 when they're done to use for you to use. But I mean, if
So what would you want to get paid to do an 8-hour job for a photographer? What would you be happy with?
Well, I'm doing a wedding. I'm shooting for my friend Steve, and he's paying me, I think, $800 for 10 hours.
Okay. See, and I was gonna go 800. I was gonna say 800 for.
Yeah, 800 to 1,000, depending on how many hours I have to shoot for him. Like if it's a particularly long wedding, he'll pay, and he's paying for my car rental because I don't have a car right now.
Yeah. You know, you're looking at $125 an hour.
Yeah,
you know,
which
you
is
have
totally
no overhead,
fine.
no expenses.
No.
You know.
And now he wants me to edit the wedding, but he pays me separately for that.
So there you go.
Like he pays me $15 an hour to do editing on all his weddings, basically.
Yeah. Good deal.
So
don't you think if you marketed yourself, website and all, as a second shooter, right? Like I think you could be shooting every weekend.
Probably could. Could. Yeah. I mean, I know. Well, the one.
Some people don't need a second shooter for all weddings, but you get that one wedding where it's like, shit, you know what? I need a second shooter for this.
Well, the one girl that I'm shooting for, she's from Toronto.
Yeah.
And so she has called now. She's booked 3 weddings for me, all at this end of the city. So we're talking Mississauga to Niagara. Yeah. And I told her, I said, whenever you've got a wedding that's out this way, fine. But if it's Toronto and East, I don't want to do it.
She a big studio shooter? Is she well known?
Nope.
Big name?
She's a boutique studio.
But she does enough weddings.
Yeah. She does about 20 a year. You
could promote on your website, I shoot weddings, but I book them through this studio, and you could sort of send them there.
You could do that too, yeah. Well, that's kind of what Steve and I have been talking about, because he's here in Hamilton, and you know, but the one wedding he's got booked for me, I have to go to Barrie to shoot.
Okay. Rent a car.
That's it. Rent a car. He pays for it. He pays for the car, you know, and that kind of thing. And I'll go up there and I'll shoot it. I have no problem doing that. Yeah, but I don't have to deal with the client then. I don't have to market to the clients.
I want to touch on one thing, and then I want Judy to talk about her new Amazon purchase.
Oh, my desk.
Yeah. I just want to mention, I just forgot to mention this.
Your smile getting any bigger there, Judy? Wow.
I know. I can't wait to put it in here and do it.
So one of my latest sort of marketing strategies is I've always been a big believer in blogging, and even if it's like people don't go to websites as much, but if they're serious clients, they'll dig deeper and go to your website. I'm a big believer, but also for Google and for having, well, the blog is good for Google ranking.
Yeah.
It gives me stuff to send out to my AWeber Studio newsletter list, people that have signed up for my newsletter, and it gives me stuff to put up on Facebook. So I've been really ramping it up. I've been mostly neglecting my studio newsletter for the last 7 years. And, if I have Fairy Day, I send them a blast. But I've been trying to really ramp it up. My goal is to do 2-3 a week, and I did a couple this week. So, and I'm trying to find my voice. I just think it's a really important strategy, and it's a very important tactic to connect with one's audience. And I'm going to look at building that list up even more with the help of networking, with the help of Facebook. You can increase newsletter signups. I've been studying it really intently in the last little while, so I'm going to be going down that road. So I'm really excited about it. A lot of people think that writing emails is redundant and no good, but it's not true. The thing is, writing boring, irrelevant emails is not good. You have to create emails that are sort of entertaining, and they have to be relevant and interesting. So I'm trying to find a quirky little voice there with that. And it's sort of an unusual strategy, so that's what I'm doing with my website via email, via blogging, via Facebook. But I want to ask you guys, I got this new dress in. This is a boudoir dress, fairy. It's for like 20 plus.
Which one are you talking about?
Post pictures with that on?
Here. Can you see my cursor?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the far left one.
Yeah. This is for a younger girl. You could tell she's a little bit, a little less plunging cleavage. Of course, and I got a whole shitload of dresses like this. I'm going to get some more of these torso mannequins for kids, and I'm going to decorate my studio using these torso mannequins and use the dresses. Did I bring this up last month?
Yes, you did.
Okay, I'm not going to go there again. But this dress here is like, I got a 14, 15-year-old girl. This is the one area for fairies that I have a big sort of like a gap where we don't really have a lot available to market to them. We have lots for little kids, and I got this now for older ladies who want to have a fairy that's a little bit sexy.
Can I make a suggestion?
Well, this is what I'm throwing out there. I want to know what your feedback and or thoughts is on that, because...
Well, one thing that you might want to look at that might work with your fairy look is corsets and waist cinches and that kind of thing.
Right.
Because they're very feminine. That's number one.
I never thought of that.
And they come in all kinds of colors, all kinds of fabrics. And if you do the waist cinch type thing, you can do really billowy blouses that are very soft and feminine over the top half, too. It's got a bit of a, what's that look? I can't think of the description for it. But it's a really good option and fits that older. It's not something you use on a younger girl, but as soon as you get into that, older teenager and up, it would fit really well.
It sounds a little sexy. I got to be careful, of course, with the teenagers.
You don't want to, like, I'm talking 18 and over, okay? But if you use waist cinches and you still have like something covering the top, it just brings it in and it gives that slightly more shapely look.
Yeah.
That can still fit with the fairy look. Yeah.
I never thought of that before. I wrote it down. I made notes. I'm going to Google it.
And you can get them in like all color combinations, and then you can fit them with different bottoms and different things like that. So there's a lot you can do with them. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's an area I'm really trying to get into, and that's the one area, but for the young girls, I'm thinking I'm going to use this dress still, but I got to cover this up. Would you guys agree? That's too much fun. I don't know what to put there, a piece of fabric or maybe some more flowers and just sort of fill it in there. Would probably do the job.
Yeah, flowers would work.
Yeah.
Or you could do like layers of pearls across there or something.
Well, it's got to pretty much cover this whole area.
Yeah.
Really, really cover it. I got to be careful.
A whole flower thing. Yeah, you have to be careful about that, right?
So that's, I just had this dress made. This material is sort of sheer and see-through. It doesn't look that way, but she made me some matching pants that they're like not sexy pants. They literally are like boxer shorts that are snug fitting, but they're not boxer shorts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that it'll blend in well, and without revealing, without suggesting, without being like thongish.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Even though you got these girls throwing them these thong bikinis on the beach and they're young and they just flaunt everything off.
Yeah, but that's not what you're going for there.
No, I got to be really careful with that. So,
yeah.
I got some girls coming in next week to get a couple samples, and I'm going to be shooting them up against the gray, and I'm going to be adding the fairy backdrops in later for that sort of look to give me something new to work with. So experimenting and playing with it, it's going to be it's going to be a very thematic portrait.
Yeah.
With a very artistic design to it, and that very fairy, magical, mystical, je ne sais quoi sort of deal. Yeah. So let me click here, Judy.
Do it. Did
Bingo.
You download it? Did you put the link on?
It's coming up there.
There it be.
We're just bouncing around all over the place here, so.
What's that?
We're bouncing around all over the place.
It looks like one of those sit-up, stand-up,
sit-down.
It is, eh?
It's a sit-stand.
Yeah.
And so it's very similar to a very desk, which Veridesk is like twice the price of this.
Yeah.
And it's got the handles, so you just go up and down with it, but it goes on top of your existing desk. It comes fully assembled.
Yeah.
Right? So there's no assembly required. And I'm going to actually set it up pretty much almost exactly how that is set, with the only extra add-on will be my tablet will be beside the keyboard, right? But yeah, so and that's because I'm doing so much retouching. I have to do something, right? Like it's become kind of insane.
Yep.
No more sitting.
No more sitting.
This is a stand-up desk. You put it on top of a counter or something, or?
Well, I'll put it on top of my existing desk.
Yeah.
Right?
How high? How high is that?
Well, it goes to different heights. So the only thing that I read was that if you're really tall, this doesn't go up high enough.
Yeah,
but I'm not. I'm only 5 feet tall.
Right.
So,
you don't have that challenge, do you, Judy?
No, I don't have that challenge.
Where'd Judy go? Oh, there you are.
Like, no, that's not a challenge for me. So it'll be totally okay for me. But yeah, so it arrived today, and I have to shoot all day tomorrow, so I'm hoping that I'll get it all set up on the weekend. And I'll take a picture of the setup and send it so we can share it next time around. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. The only thing, I did order the mat, the anti-static, anti-sit mat for your feet. I did order that too, but that comes separately, and that hasn't come yet. So, but I ordered that too.
Yeah, it's a thing, eh? Sitting down, it's like a desk job. You're so many hours a week. It's not good for you.
No. It's really hard, and I find it really hard on the back, you know? I mean, it's like, and I tend to, when I'm retouching, I'm like this, because I'm like, you know, and I tend to hunch over a lot, so that's not going to happen when I'm standing.
How many hours a week are you retouching, on average?
Oh, at the current
20?
rate that I'm going at right now, oh God, no, more than that. Probably 40 to 50 hours a week I'm retouching.
Wow. That's a full-time job.
Yeah.
Jeez, when do you find time?
I'm making, I'm doing my, well, and you got to figure most of my clients are American, so I'm charging US dollars on it, and I'm probably bringing in about 800 a week. Nice. Easy with the retouching.
On top of your regular business.
Yeah. But, and I'm getting faster at it. Obviously, I'm getting faster at it, but you know, it's and a lot of it's relative. Like some clients are harder to work on than other clients because the client's a challenge in particular. Right. Yeah. It really just sort of, you know, I can get 60 images that I can just whip through them, and then I can get 60 images that take me a 12-hour day because the client's a challenge to work on.
Okay.
So, but they get charged more for that.
So how's your new studio location, your new pad, your new dig, your new crib, the crib?
Well, you know, it's a residential area. I'm in a house, so it's completely different. I'm off, not on the main street anymore. It's so quiet here. That's like, it's kind of a little weird, actually. Like at night, it's like dead quiet, right?
Like a Stephen King movie?
Yeah, whereas before it was like all I could hear was King Street and the noise and the racket and people yelling.
I remember when we moved out in Garson, like the first night we slept there, I woke up in the morning, I'm like, what the fuck is that fucking birds? Am I awake because we have birds?
I know. And I got
so used to traffic, right?
Oh, so many birds. It's like just unbelievable. And I mean, you know, we get some traffic because Augusta Street is a two-way street between John Street and Walnut, which are busy streets. So we do get traffic from that, but like not traffic. It's just like the odd car goes.
It's residential traffic.
You have it's an old house. We talked about this, I think, last month or the month before. I think we talked about, it sounded like a really nice place. It's older. It's got a lot of charm. It's going to have a lot of opportunity for you to shoot in, right?
It's very, very, it's like, it's almost vintagey feeling. a little bit, right? And so I have actually decorated it completely different.
Okay.
From what I had. What I had before was clean, no decoration, just the bed. That was it.
Do you have any boudoir sessions lined up for now and then say the next 3 weeks? Oh, so maybe next month you can show us some pics of your decor.
Yeah.
And maybe some of the sessions if you so feel inclined.
Well, if I can, if I'm allowed to, yeah.
Yeah, only if you're allowed to, but that would be cool to see.
Yeah, it's I've got a session. I've got a session this week. I got a session next week, and then I have one coming up in May. That's actually she's from Sudbury. She's coming down for her second session with me.
Yeah, you were saying that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so she drives in. She comes in for her business, for the business she works with, and so this is her second time, and another $1,500 she's spending on an album.
Sweet.
To come in.
That's awesome.
Life is good. James is getting into that mining boudoir.
My wife is going. Yeah.
Mining boudoir. Yeah. I'm not saying anything.
Whenever I get like one of those quiet guys or whatever, and I got to take his picture, and he's like, picture. I was like, well, I'll tell you what, I'll let you pick which month you want to be. First crack at it. Miners of Mayhem calendar coming out, buddy. You can have
Miners
of
Mayhem.
That's it. And so what about you, Rob? You just got back from Costa Rica. What's like going up with you? Anything new?
It feels like I've been here forever.
What, in town?
Yeah.
You've only been back a few weeks, haven't you?
I know, it feels a lot longer. I find April a really hard month because it's just like such a dark, dreary month, but I shouldn't complain. I just spent 10 weeks in Costa Rica, so I'm not complaining.
Well, and our April hasn't been too bad so far.
Ours has been shitty.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of dreary, right?
It's dreary, rainy, like there's not a lot of sunshine. You can tell because people get different. If there's no sunshine for 4 or 5 days, people
that's what it is.
Irritable. Then the sun comes out one day, like last Saturday, it was beautiful, sunny. Everybody was outside. Everybody was happy.
I was looking at the front of my studio, and we have hangers where we put flowers. They stay there. They look great. They stay there till October, and I was thinking, I can't wait to get those up because they make such an addition to the hanging plants, and we have a big steel pot where we put a big plant in, and it's, with a window display and everything, it's going to look awesome. And I got lights coming in the studio. I've been waiting for my guy. He's always wounding himself. He cut himself, then he hurt his back. He's supposed to come in today, but no sign of him. I'm dying to get my lights up.
I want to do put out some. I've got sort of a front entry deck area, where they have to come up the stairs and come in the front door, and I want to put some hanging plants.
Yeah, I would.
Out there.
So the impression they get is going to be of key importance, right?
Yeah. Just make it a little prettier, So that's the idea. The actual garden in the front is almost it's one of those gardens that's like low maintenance.
Yeah.
Doesn't need really. It just kind of needs a clean out right now. So I'm going to go in and just do a refresh of the whole area.
You have flowers in bloom right now?
A lot of the gardens do. Like all the daffodils and tulips and stuff are all coming up.
We ain't got none of that.
Really? Wow. I mean, all our trees, like all our cherry blossoms, all the blossoms are coming out.
We're far from buds already.
Oh my God. It's been so warm down here though.
Yeah, there's not a lot at all. Not a lot at all.
And today it rained all day. Like it poured all day.
Oh, yeah.
Thunder and lightning storms and everything today.
This is good. Get everything growing. So.
Yeah. And then we're supposed to have nice days for the next 3 days. I think it's supposed to be nice. So
I ordered 8 canvas prints.
Yes, I saw that.
And you
had that in the forum, didn't you?
And I went. Did I show you in person, James, and ask you in person?
I've seen the print. I haven't seen the actual prints. You sent me the image.
No, but the thumbnails. I went and asked a lot of photographers.
Yeah.
For their opinion and feedback, and because otherwise I go crazy and I just order them all without thinking. I thought I'm going to go slow on this, and I printed out about 12 samples. four on a sheet of 8.5 by 11, and I just went around and I got opinions. And the ones my wife didn't like was the was the one that everybody unanimously liked. So my wife and I don't have the same image or view when it comes to what, she's very, very analytical, and that's why she's good at management and good with numbers. But when it comes to she's so disconnected from, that's a beautiful image sort of thing. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
Well, you're talking about the image with the father with the two sons?
That was one image that she didn't like, but all my photographer friends loved it.
Loved that.
A couple of other ones.
Total range throughout that whole image is beautiful.
I actually liked the fact that there was no mom or sister in there, that it was all boys.
So I ordered 8 canvases, and I'm excited to get those up, and I want to hire an interior decorator to finish up because, I don't know, you remember Nashville? Remember how we had Tana LeMay, who's, what's the framing company she owns?
I don't remember the name.
Anyways, it'll come to me. She has really cool offbeat framing. They're very decorative. She's really good at decor, and she came in, did a webinar with her, and she came to one of our events. And she's talking about the importance of decor, which I'm a big, big, big believer in. Always hired interior decorators, and she was just saying, harmony. Harmony is so important, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm just in the middle of not being there, but I want to be there. So I got all the elements in place. I'm hoping to get it together. So hopefully by next month, I'm got that all happening, and I'm going to take some.
Remember when you rebranded to up on the Greenville Court? You kind of did the same thing. You kind of rebranded everything with that studio. You brought interior decorator.
We hired an interior decorator.
It was still kind of a boutique studio.
It was different.
Right, but you still did everything. You didn't niche out. You still did everything, but it was very boutique-ish, right? Like it was.
That guy was the best designer in town. He's as gay as gay gets. I've known that guy for a long time, but it's like they're the best, man. They just have it.
They have an eye for it.
Expensive, but he came in and he's like, "What the hell is with you guys, you photographers, and all your pictures?" And I'm like, "All right, where are you going with this?"
Well, that's what we sell. That's what we sell.
My walls were plastered. I always liked that idea. And so he said, we're going to take my reception area was all angled, different angles. So it wasn't rectangular. It was really like a corner unit. So it was a cool kind of layout. He said the 4 main walls, we're going to paint them all a different color. Robin's egg blue, yellow, and another color. It was sort of kid-like colors, right? And we're going to have 1 image per wall, oversized mat. So we had a 60 by 60 inch framed matted glassed print on the main wall. 1. That's just what he came up with.
That watercolor one, eh?
I forget what it was, but we had a 20 by 30, a 60 by 60 matted frame. It cost us a fortune, but I really liked the idea. And the other wall, similar idea, so we had that theme going. It was just really funky. So we had that for like 7 years, and it was just an idea that, people come in and go, wow, that's what I want to do here.
It's like
now, see, I kind of took that approach with with this place downstairs a little bit. I've gone 2 ways, okay? Mm-hmm. So on one wall, I have a 40 by 60 metal print.
Nice.
So that's on one wall. So that's as soon as they turn the corner and they go into the viewing area and the albums are underneath. But on the wall behind where they're sitting is about 20 frames. All different sizes, all different types of frames, all different prints.
That's cool.
So, and it's just like kind of a not planned look.
Right.
So it's a bit more vintagey looking, I think, in the way that I put it together. So I did the 2 things to attract a different feel from the clients, but all the images relate to boudoir, obviously.
So you're going for impact.
Kind of off topic, but not off topic. Judy, have you ever thought of doing like vintage boudoir type stuff? Like,
what do you mean, like
old school, like old, like Western days type look?
Oh No, I've never thought of doing that.
With guns and cowboy hats.
The only reason I say that is because Travis Gadsby just posted some that he had a little side project that he did, and he did like old Western style photos, right? And he made it look like they were old, and it was just really cool.
Was it? Yeah.
And I'm like, like you could have do that too and still have it sexy, but old school, but
yeah.
It sounds kind of hokey.
That's a bit more pinup looking, though.
Was it? Yeah.
I don't know.
Was it pinup-y, James?
I didn't find it pin-up-y.
No.
No, but if you go boudoir, it could have a bit more of a pinup. Like the one, what's that? I can't even.
You should do it. I'm just saying that could be a market that somebody like you could really specialize in something like that.
Yeah.
Like when Travis posted those images of the westerns, I was like, that's a whole market right there. I'd get one of those done of me, man.
It sounds hokey, but when you say it looks really good, he made it.
I know. I think I know which images you're talking about. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing them.
I'm curious.
And I thought they were really compelling as well. Yeah.
Very cool, man.
Travis Gadsby. I'm going to go check that out later.
Yeah, that guy's so freaking talented, man.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I got him coming on next week in a webinar.
He does nice stuff.
Nice.
Isn't he the guy that owns Silver Lake?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you call it?
Yeah. Silver Lake, isn't it?
Background? I thought you said something else. That's him. Yeah. Him and Paula.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's before we close her down.
Yeah.
I got this. This is an email that I got from Jeff last week. We're not going to go through all the questions.
Holy crap.
I created a 48-minute reply video and I put it in the forum to his questions. And I was like, okay, is somebody sending me these? Is this somebody who's pranking me? I went to his website. No, he's got a legitimate website. So he's like 60-something. He works full-time. He doesn't know what to do. He's got to rebrand his business. He shoots film still. He scans the images. He's totally lost. And I'm like, well, I got to admit, one of the things I suggested to him after I went on and went through each question at the very end, I said, you might want to even just consider retiring or semi-retiring or something like that. Because imagine, like, he's like where we were in the 90s shooting film, and now he wants to get into digital, so I find that so bizarre.
He's got a lot of work ahead of him.
He's got a lot of work, and I don't know how much Photoshop he knows in today's environment.
Basically starting out less than somebody young that just picks up a camera for the first time. He's literally they already know technology.
I don't know what his skill set is with people, with his photography.
That's awful for doing it. I mean, better late than never.
Well, I mean, and then by the same token, he could continue to shoot film.
Well, the thing is, too, he must have some Photoshop skills. I mean, he's scanning negs. I mean, hopefully he's not just scanning the negs and then saying, here, take the...
I don't know.
I mean, hopefully, because, I mean, film, let's be honest, unless you get stuff retouched, film's just not going to cut it.
I don't think he's doing...
Most people I know that shoot film do scan everything.
So he must have some digital photography skills. If he's got photography skills, I mean, it sounds hard, but, I mean, once you realize that the digital camera is just the same thing. It's a tool, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to get into all the technical details of shooting a digital camera if you already know all about your light exposure, shutter speed, and everything. Put it on manual, and away you go, right?
It all transfers over.
Shoot it like a film camera, and then learn all the other guys, when you're taking a dump or something.
Yeah.
The gugas and the gigis.
Exactly. So, I mean, he can be done, but he's, You know what his problem is going to be? If his business isn't going very well right now because he's lost a lot of clients, he's going to have a hard time getting new clients in the door.
Yeah.
He's got no clients, I don't think. So he's like, what can I do at this very moment to generate a real interest?
So he now has to start shooting digital, and then he's going to have to ramp up social media on all levels.
Got to do it all.
He's going to have to rebrand himself completely, but he's going to have to do a hell of a lot of marketing and networking.
What I do at the very moment to generate a real interest in my business that would start things moving again at a relatively low cost? Well, there's an easy answer to that.
Yeah.
Social media.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Social media.
Well,
there's no cost.
but don't forget those. Social media is just the delivery mechanism. It's just the media.
Yes,
you have to go back to market, and you got to go back to message. So what I told him right off the bat was...
But he needs that.
Yeah, I said, if you want to create a general interest in your business, you got to bring something to the game that is interesting and that they're going to want. Then go to social media and all the other stuff.
Well, you have to have a good product.
Yeah,
you got to have a product to offer. Yeah.
So I don't know where he's at there, but that's exactly where he's got to be, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know where his level of qualifications, his ability skill. I mean, he's probably got decades of photographic. But how many people do we know that have a lifetime and decades of photographic skill who are driving bus or working at the real estate agency and not doing photography anymore?
Well, there are quite a few. But then there are also quite a few that are still in photography, but they're not, but their business has continued to grow and change and evolve, like you, Rob. You know, like a perfect example is Robert Knoll. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I know Robert.
Okay, so he's been in the business, what, 27, 28 years, something like that. But his business is not what it was 28 years ago. It is completely different now.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he's evolved as the industry has evolved, just like all of us have.
Yep.
So this guy is like where we were, what, 10 years ago, 12 years ago?
Yeah.
Like that's where he is.
Over that.
So it's like he's sort of like really behind. He's got a lot of catching up to do.
This guy is, not Robert Knoll.
Yeah, this guy is, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work.
Yeah.
So he works from 6 in the morning, and he gets home around 5, 6 at night, and he's got to do all this. He's got to do this after hours. He's got to work on it after hours and on the weekend. And
why would you even want to if you have a full-time job that you're working for?
I think he hates his job.
He hates his job.
But here's the thing, though. He's looking for easy answers. I think he's looking for.
There are no easy answers.
And that's why I was asking this, Rob, because you kind of led just right into it. Like, do you think, like, I mean, you have to have you have a full-time job. This is going to take a lot of hours and a lot of time. This isn't an overnight fix here. You need to put some serious years in to get this up. Like, even if you say,
I don't think he realizes that.
If he changes his photography to something completely different and makes it unique so that he stands out, I mean, that right alone, I mean, that takes a few years to build. And if you're planning on doing this, like, in order to, you know, maybe quit your job, like, you know, by that time, dude, like, I don't know. You either quit your job and just jump right into it now if you have the financial income to last a few years.
I don't know if he's got that.
And that's the thing. But, I mean, this is a lot to bite. This is a lot to bite off.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or anything. It's just that.
It'd be different if he was, like, even, you know, late 30s, early 40s, and he was sitting there in this position, because he'd still have some time.
That's why I suggested maybe considering retirement or something.
Retire, yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to be a dick or anything about it. But.
Well, you know, I mean, if he retired and then did this as sort of his retirement thing to do, then that's different. Because then he can just take his time and fly by the seat of his pants,
That's a possibility.
Right? Yeah.
Go at it nice and slow.
Yeah. You know, like my dad retired, but then he went and he got a job delivering fruits and vegetables, and he never did that when he was working full time.
Right, right.
He probably loved it too.
That was his retirement thing to do because he didn't want to sit at home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right? So then there's no pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And then he can just kind of take his time.
Sandy Putsch said it once years ago, and I saw her up, I think we saw her in Chicago. When it's desperate times and you got to do marketing to save you out of debt. What did she call that, James? Do you remember?
I do not remember.
Some word attached to marketing. Desperate marketing? No, it was something else. It was like, you know, I got to do something now, and that never works. And Dan Kennedy said it this way. He says, you know, Dan Kennedy says, when you're up to your neck in alligators, is not the time. You know, you should have drained the swamp earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's too late.
The thing that tells me that he's in a bit of a pickle is, watch right here. What, in your opinion, can I do to save my business when I have very little time to invest in it? So I think we touched on that.
See,
but
I read that, and that's why I said, like, if you got little time,
If you don't have the time to invest in it, then you can't do it. Like,
yeah. But I think he's in a real pickle. That's what I think. Times are desperate, and he's...
Because then it's saying in the next one, he's 60. So it's like...
He's 60-something. I don't know his exact age.
Yeah, so that's like crazy.
Hey, what about this question?
Wants to take?
One more question. We'll touch on this one real quick, and then we'll wrap it up.
Good.
Oh, I got a whole bunch more. Is formal studio classic portraiture, in your opinion, still desired? And I said, yes, it is, but it's got to be done a certain way, and it's got to be done very tastefully, but it's also marketing to the right market and creating the right...
Yeah.
I definitely think classics portraiture is still in. Again, there's a market for it, but you have to market to that market.
Right. Well, I mean, isn't that what Guy and Julie still do?
They're formal a little bit.
They still do the formal classic portraiture.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Maggie is more...
well, she's more formal, too, yeah. Yeah. But I think that the Martins still do it. I think his daughter probably does some of the more like the more recent... Yeah. But they still do a lot of classic portraits as well. There's
their website. These guys are doing really, really well, by the way, right?
Yeah, very well. They're busy. Busy.
Like, that's classic, you know. Their stuff is still pretty classic.
Exactly. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Very simple, well done, and these guys are doing exceptionally well. I'm going to go to Maggie's. Maggie tells me she doesn't really work her website at all because she says she gets all her business through networking and social media. So she admits she's remiss in her keeping this up to date.
Still pretty classic, though, you know? Like,
She shoots everything on a 10-foot wide white background. She has one light and a kicker, and this background was kind of an unusual one. But that's how she shoots her stuff, and she just does all this in Photoshop. She's got a very artistic eye. So I mentioned her in the email video I created for this guy. All right, let's call it a wrap. What do you say? It's time to go to bed.
Okay.
All right, guys.
It's been a long day for me, so.
Nice chatting with you all.
Yeah, always.
We'll do another one, and we'll get pictures up, hopefully, of my studio with the lights and everything.
Judy's place. Special guest. Should start bringing in some special guests.
I agree.
Hey. Yep, we'll get to that. Absolutely. Okay. We've got lots to choose from.
Okay. So email us when you want to do this again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll send you some dates very, very soon. Thanks.
Sounds good.
Night, guys.
All right.